Because that's kind of like an easy overhaul. What will re-image do?
Well, the reimage is just resetting it. The only reason why it would need to be reimaged
Yeah.
is because there's no BitLocker code.
Oh, just because of the BitLocker code. Okay.
Exactly. Because even if I were to detail how you actually go into safe mode, if Avi finds out how to do it as well,
Yeah.
even with that information, you wouldn't be able to go into safe mode because it's going to be asking you for the BitLocker key.
Mm-hmm.
That's see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's the only reason we're re-imaging is because we don't have the BitLocker code. And you're contending that my graphics driver is bad. What are you contending it really is, or you have no idea?
Well, what could have, in my opinion, it may have been a Windows update that may have screwed it up. That's my opinion, though, because that does happen. And then that Windows update may have messed up the graphics driver or something, or the power settings, or whatever it may have messed up. Because I do know we have customized. I do know that power settings are automatically applied to all your computers, even on my computer, as annoying as that is. And that may have messed up something there as well.
Okay. And if I give it back to IT, what will they do then?
They're gonna probably have it be re-imaged because there's nothing else that they can probably do.
And then if it doesn't work, then after they're re-imaging it and they have the key, the BitLocker key, then what are they gonna? And it's not working. Then what are they gonna do?
No, so if it's before they turn it into you, hopefully they will have to test out the computer, log into it, do all sorts of updates, and see if that can be reproduced.
Okay.
Because I do know when they turn it into you, there were certain updates that were occurring in the background. Once they installed CrowdStrike on the computer, and Tanium, certain things happen in the background that they start doing the changes in the computer. And one of them is applying one of those updates in the background as well.
So when I took it and I used it, you're claiming that at night it did an additional update. So why did it when it was doing? Well, you don't know. Okay. And the idea that you see. Yeah, go ahead.
I do know it was doing Windows updates because when you were attempting, or when we were attempting to try to take it out of secure boot mode, and put it back in, it was doing some updates. Like updates were occurring, or maybe it was just applying some updates because we wanted to take out the secure boot. That could be a
right.
But in my opinion, I think it was some updates or some configurations that happened in the background that may have screwed with it. That's just my opinion.
Okay, but okay. And the way to fix it is
to slightly change the power settings in Windows, but to change that requires BitLocker without re-imaging. After re-imaging, hopefully that should not be an issue. And the business schools should test out the computer thoroughly before they turn it into you. And to make sure that it has BitLocker. That needs to be happening.
So it should have been part of the process. They should have somebody along the way should have put it in, and somebody along the way should have checked if there's a BitLocker key registered.
Well, they shouldn't have to check. It should be already there. But just in case, since this happened in this particular case with you, I would actually, like, if they re-image it before they turn it back into you, ask them for the BitLocker key. If there isn't, for them to go ahead and find it or get it out of the Windows itself. But to make sure that it's included in the system. Since this happens to you right now, because I'm not able to find it. I still have it noted down, 179BB number 8E1.
Right.
I put that into Active Directory, and something pops out for the BitLocker key. So that was not introduced into the system.
And who is in charge of those guys that do all the security in Central? It's the same boss as you have.
What is the name?
No, it should. So it's desktop support. It's the one when they image it.
Yeah.
They normally.
No, but what group is that? That's a different group than yours, Alexis.
Yeah, that'll be desktop support. That's in my opinion.
Who did mine is desktop support. Who originally?
Yeah. If it's from Central, it's desktop support or an aspect.
Hold on, let me turn off Alexa. Alexa, stop. Alexa's trying to answer my question. Because I called you Alexis.
All right, no problem. So I think it's just So I think it's either desktop support or an aspect of desktop support. It could be someone else that, but it's normally desktop support that images the computer and puts it in. Or they haven't inputted it, or they haven't inputted the BitLarker key as of yet.
And that's a different group than your group. You're not desktop support? Who are you?
We're part of desktop support, but for over the phone support.
Okay, and then there's
Who's in charge? You know,
who's
who's
in charge? Okay, but who's in charge of all those guys?
That I'm not sure.
They're not the same name as who's in charge of your group?
The ones in charge of my group is Stacy and Raphael.
Okay. But Raphael's not in charge of those guys that originally accept my computer and put.
Not to my.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, and I'm just trying to understand
who's putting the crowdsource.
But my business IT was supposed to put in the crowdsource, or you guys were supposed to put in the crowdsource? I thought you guys were supposed to put it in.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was. All I know is when I was checking the system, it was not installed.
Okay, it was on the computer, but it was not installed. But when they send it over to the business school, you don't know what the process is. You don't know I was under the impression the IT team in the business school gave me the impression that this was supposed to be installed already.
It should have been installed. But sometimes when it comes pre-imaged, they may have to open it up and test it out in the business school and make sure that it connects to the internet and make sure that the software starts initially.
Okay, and then they had a problem getting it connected to the internet, and that's where you came in. Is that the idea?
Correct. Yeah, because I remember yesterday the technician I was speaking to, he had registered your computer, but I wasn't able to find it. And then when he took it out, that's when I had to verify you, and then I added the computer to the system. And then I saw it being connected with Tanium and CrowdStrike, which showed the system.
And that should have been done prior to them, or because it seems like I'm trying to figure out how this cannot, you know what I mean? Where's the bottleneck here?
I think CrowdStrike and Tanium was installed already. He just needed to turn on the computer and connect it to the guest Wi-Fi at least so it can communicate through the internet. And that way the software itself communicates to our server for the first time. And then it shows us registered.
Okay. I was there with him. That's what he did. But it wasn't registered.
No, what he was trying to do, at least from my understanding, I may have misunderstood a bit, he was trying to get connected to the network. And he wasn't able to even when he registered it.
Right.
Although I did tell him to connect it to the guest Wi-Fi. I mean, that was on a different call maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then that's what I was telling him.
Because when he called me, before I could add it to the network myself, I have to check to see if it has CrowdStrike and Tanium. If it doesn't have CrowdStrike and Tanium, I can add it as per protocol.
Right. All right. So thanks a lot.
Have you ever done an external boot from an SSD?
I have.
So I researched it, and several users had the same situation. They said that the problem is that all kinds of updates are done automatically. When they get screwed up, that is what happens. So several people reported on the internet that what they did is when they installed the initial operating system in the apps and it was working, they toasted it with a 4 terabyte external bootable SSD. And that way when it kept crashing after a while, because there is all kinds of things that are not belong to you or the IT, and that may conflict with whatever security you have installed. And so they said, right, and so
the issue is you can ghost the computer, you can ghost the hard drive, but before you can actually ghost or reown it, you have to have the password key.
yes, that's why the woman from Dell was trying to was trying to enter the number, but after a few characters, it didn't let her enter any more numbers. So,
You don't have to give her the target code. That's what I was trying to tell you.
why don't you just install it without the BitLocker for the beginning and let it work for a while? And then when it crashes again, you will try to deal with other remedial problems and see that it is stable for a while. And then, but initially it doesn't even have to be secure. We wouldn't connect it to the internet, and that way we can eliminate the changes that are made to it without our knowledge, just to see whatever you have done, whether there is something wrong with it. Use the application just to localhost off the internet for a while. Then we know that because this woman said that we have to change up the BIOS setup. And she checked the BIOS and they said that she said that the BIOS were updated, because at the beginning she thought maybe the BIOS, because it gets a message about the BIOS, secure BIOS, so she tried to check it to make sure that the BIOS are updated and so on. Why don't we just put the BitLocker on and see first without the internet? And then if it crashes, then we know that it has nothing to do with the internet. It's something that whatever software you install there, that's what she said in the end. She said the hardware is working perfectly well, and the problem is in the software. The Miami software, we cannot deal with the Miami software. But they cannot test the applications themselves the way that we can, because we're using them every day, all the Office and all the other applications. It's not connected to the internet. We take it and we don't connect it to the internet. We just run it on localhost. Whatever application you can run without the internet, like Office and some other applications, which we need to use anyway to prepare for the classes. You mean to tell me that now you cannot run it on localhost without being connected? Localhost. You know what localhost is?
No, but can I start my let's say I'm on a plane and I'm not on internet mode, right? I'm not connected to the internet. When I log in, I have to be connected to the internet to log in? Yes, but
Right. So she comes to you and she did the same thing that she did before, or you do it there for her, and then
yeah, I signed up right.
right, but
If you wanna request to have a local host or a local account on the computer, I believe that she would have to request permission for that, and then it has to be approved by IT.
so what IT is it? The central IT or your IT or?
Central IT. Central IT. My IT is Central IT.
So
Central IT.
let them do it, and that way we can just test it off the internet. Just test all the applications, because it may be that something that Windows 11 is trying to do together with whatever they installed there has a conflict, which creates problems regardless of where you are connected to the internet or not. Dell said that it has nothing to do with them, and so you have to resolve it in the UMIT, and we are here between Dell and UMIT, both of which we have no control and we don't know what they are doing, and we waste a lot of time, and plus wasting a lot of your time doing over and over again the same thing.
Correct. No, I totally agree. In this case, I think the fault is just not having it longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
asking.
why can't you?
Just at least for a while until we test it thoroughly and we eliminate the possibility that there's some conflict, nothing to do with the internet, and it's simply a conflict between all these special things that has installed that conflicts with Windows 11 and other things that have nothing to do with Dell or the internet.
correct. I can't say much.
And just she has a special medical, what is it called?
Medical accommodation.
Medical accommodation that she doesn't have to come to the university,
I'm not supposed to. Right.
she's not supposed to come, and she has to come to the university just to fool around with this time and time again. It's so maybe you can pass it on to Central IT and see if she can get some kind of relief from this problem.
All right, I'll let my supervisor know.
And who is your supervisor?
Raphael?
That'll be Stacy.
Stacy? Who's Stacy? Stacy who?
Stacy's our new supervisor in the department.
What's her last
Raphael,
name?
which is our manager.
Oh, and what's Stacy?
Reynolds.
Who? Michaels?
Stacy Reynolds.
Reynolds.
Stacy Reynolds.
Reynolds. Okay.
In what department is she?
She's
She's
from the help desk.
Oh, the help desk.
desk.
Oh,
Okay. But the question is now, even if we got that permission, Avi,
Yeah.
that's not going to solve the black screen problem.
No, it will solve it because if it is something that
It
happens
may
subsequent,
resolve it.
What?
if it is,
There'll be a different user log on and a different profile. I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, just make it as a different profile.
and also if it is,
That's correct.
and also if it is something that happens, let's say that it is installed like you did and it was working fine, and then something happens subsequent to that. If we have an external bootable and we can boot with the way that it was before, we know that something happens between the time that it crashes and the original time, and we can find the differences and hone in on the issue.
Right.
Instead of going back and forth
And redoing
and
having.
redoing, and you are going to have the same problem because a lot of people will get the new Windows 11 with all kinds of laptops now, and they slap the same software, and they obviously don't know what they are doing exactly and experimenting. But in the meantime, they are wasting a lot of time and their time, our time, and creating problems. So for other people also, and for your benefit and their benefit, let's solve the problem before we keep wasting a lot more time.
Right. I
So-
understand.
Yeah, so put a note for Stacy to,
And who's in charge? Who's head of Stacy?
That'll be Raphael.
Raphael is above Stacy.
Yes, Raphael Vargas.
Raphael Rogan. And who's?
and is he he's in the business school or in,
No, this is Central.
Central IT.
Oh,
It's basically they redid all the organization. So basically, the business school is under Central. Like they don't work
and
as
what
an independent.
department is Raphael in now?
He's in Central. He's
The help
Central
desk,
help desk.
got help desk.
the central help desk.
The Central help desk. Right.
Okay.
All right. I understand. So I was just saying, go in as another user.
Do you have some spare 4 terabyte or 3 terabyte SSD there that you could lend to us temporarily, or we have to buy it ourselves, and that will take some time? Do you know if you have some spare 2 or 3
I
terabyte?
believe you have to ask. That will be with business IT to see if they can provide it or not.
But you don't have there a few spare
He
SSDs.
works from home. He just works
Oh,
from
you
home.
are
He's
from
from
home too now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sometimes you forgot what it is. Okay. All right. Anyways, thanks a lot.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Anytime, okay?
Okay. Bye.
Take care, you too.
Bye. Is there?
Basically, a waste of time.
Waste